Hey everybody, just going to do a quick one-take video on how to create the poetry NFT for the upcoming TREE PEACE X WAXWORKS poetry competition. So when you go to waxworks.io/treepiece, near the top of the page you're going to see something that says schema for poetry NFTs. If we click that link, you'll see that we have image and video NFTs, comics, music, book, and the one that we're looking for right now is a poem NFT. These are the suggested minimum fields you'll need in your NFT template in order to have the poem show up correctly in Waxworks. So the next step in this process is actually to add this template. I'm going to be doing this on Nifty Blocks, so I'm going to switch my tab over to Nifty Blocks. Click in the top right and go to the Creation tool. We're going to be creating this example NFT in Waxworks. We go to Schemas and Templates. We go to Create Schema. This schema is going to be called WW Poem, but you can call yours whatever you like. And you can see that we already have a name and an image. If we go back to the supported schemas, name, image, we want a back image, and it's important that it's IMG, not IMAGE. So if we go here and we add an attribute, back image, selecting a type as image, we're going to want a description. And we're going to want this new field that I'm suggesting called verse. And if we use verse, then when we format our text in a specific way, it's going to show line breaks and center the text. I don't have that working yet, but I hope to have it working shortly. I need to copy verse. Description is going to be a string. Verse is also going to be a string. Now we want to just double check name, image, back image, description, verse. Name, image, back image, description, verse. And since I copied from here, I can be sure that all these properties are going to work. So I am now creating my schema. Now my schema has been created. Usually I have to reload this page. There we go, WW Poem. So if we hit New Template, now this is where it becomes a little bit tricky for new users. We need to upload our images first to Pinata, and then we're going to be adding them to our image preview. So the poem that I'm making, I designed in this program called Affinity Designer. I have a front side, I have a back side, and I've already exported these files as PNGs. So I've signed into Pinata. When you sign into your free Pinata account, you click on Files, and now we're going to upload the two images that we want to use. So if I go to where I was keeping these things, which is in my Poetry NFT folder, I have a frontside.png. I'm going to upload that. Now I size these at 1080 by 1080 square because I feel like that's the biggest square image you can display on an HD monitor. These are PNGs because I really wanted to try something with the transparency effect, but they're a little bit big at almost 2 megabytes. So I would recommend doing JPEGs at 85% if you're not worried about transparency. Okay, so I've uploaded my front side and my back side. I want to copy the IPFS hash for the front side. Go over to Nifty Blocks. I'm going to paste it in. I'm not going to worry about the preview. I'm going to go back to Pinata. I'm going to go to the back side, copy it, go to the back image and paste it in. Now hopefully these show up, but if they don't, it's not a huge deal. We're going to call this Waxworks a poet's I don't know if that would be capitalized. Am not. Kind of want it to be capitalized. Remember, you only get one shot at this, right? So this is my poetry. And the description is an example poem NFT using the verse property. Okay, and so what do we put in verse? Well, I have the text from my poem here in this notepad file. Okay, so to format your poem, you're going to start with the text from your poem in a notepad window. And what we need to do is make it so that we indicate where all the line breaks need to be. I've decided on using this slash character to indicate a new line. So what we're going to do first is we're going to add that slash character to every line. And if we want to have a blank line, it should just contain a space and a slash or just a slash. So I'm going through, I'm pasting them in. That one had an extra space. That one also had an extra space. Okay. Oops, not the last line. Okay, so now that they all have that, I'm going to go through and delete and add a space just for readability. I'm going to go through and delete the end of each line so that we end up with one really long line when we're done. So I have word wrap turned off, which makes this a bit easier. So now I'm down to one line, and this is the text that I'll end up pasting into my template in just a second. I'm going to go back into my verse, and I'm going to paste in that really long string. And if I did this right, I will eventually add the ability to view the poem correctly in Waxworks. Okay, so we're going to create, this never loaded. It never does for me. I don't know why. I know in Nifty's tutorials he said wait for it, but I'm not going to. Okay, so now I'm going to create this template. I've created an unlimited supply of these. And it doesn't show you right away. I always have to reload. I'm going to mint a single copy of this into the poetry contest wallet. So if I go back here to my waxworks.io/treepiece, the wallet for the contest is WWX So I'm going to send mint number 1. I'm not actually entering the contest, but if I was, I'm going to send mint number 1 to WWX and I'm going to hit mint 1 NFT. And so there's a timeout on refreshing wallets, and it's 5 minutes. It's just so that it doesn't hit the chain too often. So I will be back in a minute. Okay, you can see that now our wallet data has expired, so we can refresh for new data. And you can see now that I've refreshed, it has another 5 minutes. So if I go through to the Waxworks section, I can see that my template was a success. I minted number 1 into this contest wallet. You can see that the text that we pasted in with where the line breaks are is now in this verse field. And like I said, I'm going to make something that adds this as hidden potential shortly. And all of our flipping works. And I was trying to do this fancy thing with the transparency so you can kind of see through the back side. It's meant to look like a resin chip or something, like maybe a guitar pick. It's a picture of a real plate that I have in my window. So yeah, that's all there is to it. Once we have enough of these in the contest wallet, that's what we'll vote on. And hopefully everybody will get really creative with the front and back images and come up with some cool poems.